Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Zoning. Anxiety in PDP over presidential ticket. Picture here of completed condominiums and other homes under the National Housing Program, Phase 1 in Osun State. Lekki Tollgate to reopen in April. Wike Obaseki fight dirty in bid to control Edo PDP. Airline operators to get aviation fuel import license. Why we extended strike for 2 months by ASUU. And local government autonomy votes a ruse, says Akeredolu. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Airline operators. So following their protest that they might have to shut down the airspace in 3 days, the Oga Patapata Group Managing Director of NNPC Limited, Lekki, has responded that they now have given them license and their body license to, that's Airline Operators Association of Nigeria, have been given the license to now import to distribute the aviation turbine kerosene to their own members and operators. And that, because yesterday they were saying that it sold at 610 naira, whereas the regulators have put it at 500 naira per litre. They sold at 610 naira. They are foreseeing that their license that they're giving them might cost Nigerians some hardship because, of course, the cost of tickets will go up because they are buying from a market that cannot be regulated. But since they are claiming that they're suffering for that hardship, they've been granted that license to proceed to distribute it.
Have they been granted the license? The other account I read was they were still appealing to be granted the license, and they said they were going to help them. They were going to run a test for 3 days to sell for 500, and after that they will have a meeting and have it transparent. No, that's another account that I read.
Tribune and the other paper, and the Nation are totally different.
Okay. I was going to go ahead now.
Yes, ASUU. So I have ASUU and them. They have extended their 1-month-old strike to 2 months. According to them, they said the meeting they were supposed to have, because there was a committee that was set up to renegotiate between ASUU and the federal government. And so far, they have not agreed on one thing. ASUU is still big on the revitalization of public universities and academic allowances, university transparency, accountability solution, that's UTAS, promotion of areas, renegotiation of the 2009 ASUU federal agreement, and consistency in the IPPIS. And so the Minister of State for Education is still claiming that all the demands of ASUU has been met. ASUU, on the other hand, is saying that their demands have not been met. Until the federal government comes out to attend to all of their needs, they are not going to reopen schools. So I don't know who is lying to who. If one hand, they are saying the demands have been met. Another one is saying you have not done everything we asked you.
So I think also we need to see that continuous communication from government. So put out the list. This is what you've asked for. This is what we've done. Put a table, put a chart. You see, these things are very easy. But when you don't put it out, you keep everything in secrecy. That's where people start to speculate. Put a chart out. This is what you asked for. This is what we've done. This is what we're working on. Let us see the chart, and it's in black and white. Everybody sees it.
I think they're still working on is UTAS and my PPIS difference. So
but they said that they're giving some funds also. They released some funds to them.
ASUU is insisting on their own model. Federal government is, and we've been asking that at negotiations you find a middle ground. So bring whatever differences.
Okay, let me just take one more story.
I'm sorry, I just can't. It's the kids that are suffering.
Yes.
And that's the students that are suffering. They're not kids anymore. It's terrible.
So, the Attorney Generals of the 36 states had a meeting yesterday where they were tasked to implement the autonomy of the judiciary, legislature, and the local government. But Governor of Ondo State had responded recently saying that the move was designed as a move to have autonomy, especially local government autonomy, was designed to hoodwink and dispossess states, urge the federal government to divest itself from local responsibility, saying that they are the ones that have, the states have the right to create local governments. They're the ones that know the need of the people. So local government autonomy shouldn't be legislated by the federal government. This is something where the states should take charge of. So he was also reiterating the need for that regional control, where they determine how many local governments. We saw how that played out in Lagos State, where Asiwaju then had increased the number from 20 to, I think, to 57, based on what was needed at the time. All right, so moving on to the Punch. Blackout as national grid collapses. FG summons emergency meeting. Picture here of confusion as Kyari's wife slumps in court. Suspended DCP remanded. JAMB fingers elite schools over fraud in group registration. Inquest, Sylvester died of pneumonia leading to sepsis, says doctor. Rumored planned police strike fake and mischievous, says Force headquarters. 12 days to convention, APC holds forms, governors divided. ASUU extends strike to May. Parents beg, FG says demands have been met. Wike Obaseki continue verbal war, governors alleged betrayal and unguarded comments, and reps NNPC intervene as flight cancellations leave passengers stranded. Okay.
Please, can I take the Wike and Obaseki?
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't hear what Obaseki said to Wike. I didn't read that, but I've read what Wike is replying to Obaseki. He says that if you check Obaseki's DNA, you will see betrayal and ungratefulness inside his DNA. That, in fact, he owes a very
apology.
Unreserved apology to Oshimole. He didn't know it was like this. So let me apologize to Adams Oshimole and say, you have been vindicated. You are right, we were wrong. I have never seen people who are so ungrateful in my life.
So what happened was that the deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, had told Wike to allow Obaseki's, to give Obaseki's followers who defected from the APC to the PDP with him some room, that they should be accepted into the party. I think they want to make some demands. And so they want to start negotiating with their numbers. And so he said, give us room. Our people have not been fully accepted. They want to get to that point of decision making. And Wike thinks, you pay some years of service before you start to demand anything. And so Obaseki then replied in defense. Wike then attacked that one. I better go and sit down, that's to the deputy governor. Obaseki's principal thought, okay, let me rise to his defense. And he rose to his defense, reeling out his achievements, saying, he became deputy governor as a former national president of the National Association of Nigerian Students. He's not just a nobody. And, the role of the youth is very important. And if Wike ever thinks of achieving a leadership position on that party's platform, he must carry the youth along. And if he's not seeing Shaibu as someone he can carry along, it means that Wike is not serious. He then went further and said that, Wike has been the one that serially threatened using party members in PDP, and also said that, you cannot procure those states for your ambition. If you have ambition, you can't just come and use those states.
Like gist,
So don't mind that.
Wike ready for her and ready and go meeting.
Okay, let me take another story.
Yes. So the case of the pupil from Dowen College,
yes, sir.
Sylvester, and the case has been in court. Consultant pathologist at the Central Hospital Warri, Delta State, Dr. Clement Vitehire, carried out an initial autopsy, and he now had to, speak in court, saying that he died probably of pneumonia leading to sepsis. He said when he carried out that report, that autopsy, he was thinking he would see, because they accused that he was beaten and given a substance to drink. He was thinking he would see marks, of vicious beating. He didn't see all of that. Nobody said he was beaten with any form of instrument. He checked all his body. There was a part on his back that he saw like a mark, but that had done way more months earlier. So it couldn't be from that. And also, he opened his stomach. He was expecting to see something toxic. Yeah. He didn't see that. He just found something small, like a wrap of chocolates in his stomach. So it wasn't a cause, according to his autopsy report, it wasn't a cause of beating as he has been alleged.
This is from Warri?
Yes, it's from the Warri pathologist. But the case has been adjourned, and I think more investigations are ongoing.
Okay, we have to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take more stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing the papers. I was going to take a story in Punch about the police.
Kyari's wife, since we have the pictures.
Okay, go ahead.
So the wife of Kyari, Ramatu Kyari, seeing her husband after the court had adjourned his bail application to March 28th, and they didn't release him as expected, she got emotional and fainted when the NDLE officials were escorting him back to their van to continue to detain him as the court had ordered. And I think in that emotional bid, she fainted and she was rushed to one of the rooms within the court to be stabilized. She later walked out with the assistance of family members on her own. during court proceeding yesterday.
They were really
And so
hoping
she
that
woke
they would
up.
get a bail for him.
She was
Unfortunately,
hopeful, yes.
the NDLE was saying that there's a possibility, the likelihood that he might escape if they
So the
allow him
court
to go. So
said-
they presented like a 21-page defense saying that they shouldn't. So the court said they will review it back later in March.
And Nigerians felt it was Nollywood. I'm saying if you...
It's emotional now. Your
Yes,
husband
if you
is
hold my
charged.
husband like that,
because-
it's not only faint, I'll faint.
Yeah, nah.
Even
So please, leave the
Nollywood
Nollywood
go
matter.
crazy.
You see, the likelihood of your husband getting into that kind of wahala is very...
It's slim, but
It's
God
slim.
forbid it happens.
But life
We'll
happens.
really have that emotional breakdown.
yeah,
That's the truth.
You will.
So she's just being a human being.
Yeah.
Please let her.
Being a loving wife as well.
Excuse me. Nigerians, they did not go. They went for the jugular.
I'm telling
Yes.
you.
Let's not go
They
into
went for the jugular.
I see, and I watched one guy.
finished
I watched this guy yesterday, Daddy Freeze. And the Freeze has the right vocabulary for Nigerians. You see, these Nigerians, you have to categorize them into different compartments. There are those that are reasonable, there are those that are totally irrational, and there are those that are totally just stupid. So you need to compartmentalize who's responding to you. Anytime you get a message, who is it? Is it the one that is sensible? Is it the one that is totally, you have to be very
the one
clear.
that's stupid?
But these Nigerians, they are, many of them are.
We're a
but
mixed
some of them are really smart.
multitude.
Mixed multitude. Okay, so let's move on. Okay,
Yeah. So the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, said there has been 9 million fresh online registration for personal voters card, that's the PVC, for the third quarter of 2022. So they revealed this in their official social media handle, and they said as at 7 a.m. on Monday, that was yesterday, March 14th, the registration for fresh registration only shows about that 9 million. Then they went ahead to give us some statistics. He said Osun came highest with 638,735 fresh registrations, followed by Delta with 483,724, Bayelsa 380,357, and Borno 336,427. Then states, some other states recorded below 300,000. We have Kano, Zamfara, Lagos, Kwara, Rivers, Plateau, Kaduna, and Kogi. Then other states were below 200. We have Adamawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Jigawa, Nasarawa, Sokoto. And all of this is just to encourage us to, register for our PVC and get ready for
Okay, moving on quickly
voting.
to Daily Sun. APC convention still shaky as form sales yet to commence. INEC clears 16 political parties for Ekiti gubernatorial poll. Quest for Biafra referendum suffers setback as court adjourns hearing to May 20th. Electricity grid collapses again. UTME JAMB arrests illicit CBT center operators in Kwara, Kogi, and others. Wike hits back at Obaseki. Abba Kyari's wife slums in court. And 2023, fresh PVC online registration hits 7 million in Q3. I mean, I'm happy that we have quite a number of people that have actually new registered. That's 7 million. That's a good thing.
That's good.
We can do more.
We can do more,
So there's still time for more applications.
How long do we have? Just this year?
I think, I'm not sure. We have to get the deadline when you can have your PVCs. Okay, any other stories?
Okay,
Daily
parties that
Sun.
have been cleared for the Ekiti governorship election coming up very soon are 16 political parties, and INEC has said to them that they should comply with the rules of the Electoral Act, that any party that has any grievance that feels that their candidate's name is missing from the list of these 16 should quickly write to the body and put an other affidavit not later than 90 days, which is required by the Electoral Act. And they're saying that the total number of the 16 is 14 male and 2 female running for the office of the governor in Ekiti State.
Yeah, so the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, conducted a sting operation across 4 states, Kwara, Kogi, Katsina, Enugu, by JAMB officials, and they were able to apprehend those centers allegedly engaged in illicit registration of candidates. So they have picked them up, and they are also advising people who are taking these examinations to be very careful on the sort of CBT centers that they go over to, and appealing that these people that are doing these illegal activities are actually causing harm to the students who, at the end of the day, their results will not be used for anything. On another story, they also talked about parents allowing their wards to register for the examinations themselves, because what they get is a lot of data is being, misused and misinformed. So people mix up data, and the children are not able to have that one-on-one experience with the machinery registration before they get into the exams. At the end of the day, you have wrong courses, wrong names, wrong profile, and people who also using other forms of, instead of using normal SIM cards, registered to each student, they use all these postpaid, I think their parents' numbers, and they're not able to get their codes for the examinations. We should allow our wards to do their registrations themselves.
Okay, I was going to take the story on the police. So the rumored planned police strike is fake and mischievous, according to the force headquarters. So they were saying that there was, I think it was their acting force public relations officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, was saying unequivocally that the alleged publication is fake and a mischievous attempt by unscrupulous individuals to bring the force to disrepute, misinform the general public, and heat up the politics. According to him, it is pertinent to restate that the Nigerian force is a regimented and disciplined organization with laid down procedures to address grievances. So this was a rumored strike that the police is going to go on strike, and they're saying that it's completely false. Okay, moving on quickly now to Vanguard. Gloves off, Obaseki, Wike fight dirty over party issues. Scarcity, we have only 3 days to shut down, says airlines. Oil prices fall below $110 per barrel as diplomatic talks to end Ukraine war continues. LCC resumes toll operations on Lekki Tollgate on April 1. Drama as Abakari's wife slumps in court. NURTW crisis despite unions suspension of Olomo's boys in ticket sales racket. ASUU extends rollover strike by 2 months and energy crisis nationwide blackout as national grid collapses. Okay. Which story I was going to take? So NURTW, so you might recall the Lagos chapter had withdrawn from the Apex organization, NURT, recently. But Vanguard did an observation and saw that some of the NURT boys in Lagos were still collecting tickets, and they were saying that they were authorized by the chairman of the board, which is MC Oluomo, to collect. But fortunately, he responded quickly and said that he did not authorize any sale of union tickets at the parks because everything is supposed to be put off right now because the state government had suspended all the activities. So he has said that he did not authorize any sale of ticketing across the parks. So there's a back and forth. I mean, this was based on Vanguard's observation. So they need to ensure that those boys are not collecting tickets at this time. Any other story in Vanguard? Who has the...
Blackouts.
Okay, blackouts are going to be our topic later, but you can just mention what happened.
No, I don't have it.
Okay, nobody took, okay, Ukraine. I tried to take Ukraine. I'll probably take it in another paper. Let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. NNPC intervenes as airlines lament 3 days of stock fuel. Let's find a story we've not taken. Audit query, 107 million barrels of crude oil missing. I think it's actually 107,000 barrels of crude oil missing, says auditor. States, not FG, must determine number of local government areas, says Akeredolu. Blackout as grid collapses over the losing 1,106 megawatts. ASUU extends strike by 8 weeks. Okay, who has any story we've not taken?
The 107 million. The Office of the Auditor General of the Federation has said that the NNPC, before it became a limited, were unable to account for about 107,239,436 barrels of crude oil lifted for domestic consumption in 2019. He also added that about 222,929 liters of PMS valued at 706 billion Ilorin and the Aba Enugu depot between June and July 2019 were not received at the depot. It was a detailed account of what was received and what was not received, but these were the things that were not received and not accounted for by the NNPC. So
all right, we have to wrap up quickly, unfortunately. So there was a story about consumers to pay more for manufactured products.
Yes, an economist and chief executive officer of the Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise, PPE, Dr. Muda Yusuf, is warning the federal government not to impose any excise duty on locally produced goods. So he was responding to a statement made by the finance minister, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, who said that the federal government is planning to impose excise duty on range of manufactured products and goods in the country anytime soon. So he's saying that right now, the manufacturers are going through a lot of things. These are difficult times for manufacturers. The cost of production, elevated cost of energy, rising operating expenses. There's no light. They are running on diesel, forex market illiquidity, and all that. And you want to impose excise duty at this point. And what will happen when that is done is that they will not transfer all the extra expenses on the consumers, which the consumers do not even have the purchasing power to get.
I even have to link that to the global disruption in shipments across the world.
Yeah. So
the truth is that even Russia is our greatest import for wheat. I was reading an article which is in Guardian saying that it says that from Ukraine, Nigeria imports iron ore. Russia and Ukraine are the largest exporters of durum wheat to Nigeria. Durum wheat is used for the production of flour, which we use in our noodles and in our bread. Apart from this, Russia exports seafood such as mackerel, herring, and other fish types to Nigeria, while Ukraine exports dairy and agricultural produce. So the truth is that this war has compounded these raw materials. So whether we like it or not, it's not coming in. Internally, whether we like it or not, they might have to increase taxes. I don't even know. Nigerians are saying taxes.
If you say,
they can't get it into the country in the first place. How do they even get it?
See, this is what I'm saying, that we have failure of governments from 1966.
It's telling
Why are we importing wheat?
Well,
why?
That's our reality today. We can complain and lament on it for the next 24 hours.
We don't grow wheat here. We can't grow it.
We grow wheat
here.
We deliberately run our country down.
We run
ourselves down.
We have to run. But you see, as I said, we can lament on this tomorrow and not fix the problem. It's not going to fix. Lamenting is not going to fix the problem.
Leaders.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.